South Los Santos doesn't shake your hand. It checks your pockets. Franklin grows up learning the difference between noise and signal. He doesn't want to be loud. He wants to be free. A small wind feels like air conditioning in August. The city teaches him fast. Money talks, but it doesn't always tell the truth. Before it's over, Franklin will face an impossible bill. Trevor, Michael, or Los Santos. One of them has to pay. Born 1988, raised by grandparents after a father who vanished and a mother who lost the fight. He finds JB, Tanya, Lamar, the orbit that becomes his world. First hustle, loose cigarettes on a corner until Grandpa shuts it down. At Davis High, a bad temper meets a bad day. A teacher gets swung on. School ends early. He and Lamar try a small bank job, $2,000, and a dye pack stains every bill. The city brands him early. Every win comes with a scar, and when Franklin lands back on Forum Drive, the scars turn into choices. Family loyalty, Lamar's chaos, and Tanisha's ultimatum. The house on Forum Drive is love and noise under one roof, and Tanisha thinks success means staying loyal to the block. Franklin thinks it means surviving it. Lamar is the brother he didn't choose but got anyway. Hilarious, reckless, ride or die. Tanisha wants out. After her brother dies in gang crossfire, she won't gamble her future on Franklin's past. Tanisha walks away. Lamar keeps pulling him back, and Franklin is stuck in the middle. That's when Simeon offers a different kind of hustle. Repossession. But repos come with strings, and one repo brings him face to face with a man who'll change everything. Legit-ish money at Premium Deluxe Motorsport. High-interest loans. Low-margin lives. Simeon Yetarian smiles behind the glass desk and hands Franklin Employee of the Month. Lamar fumes. During a routine repo, Franklin passes by a man on a Del Perro Beach bench. Michael DeSanta. Calm. Watchful. Already in Franklin's story. Franklin files it away. A face. A voice. A feeling that something bigger is about to knock. A Vago's job goes loud in repossession. Lamar keeps the bike. Simeon points the blame at Franklin. Then the Rockford Hills repo complications. Michael sits in the back seat with a pistol and a plan. Through the glass, the car, the showroom, the lie of a clean life, all shattered in one rush. The repo check dries up, but the drink with Michael pays better. One yacht, one stilt house, one debt later. Franklin's not chasing cars anymore. He's chasing leverage. They save Jimmy's yacht in father-son. They rip a stilt deck off a Vinewood house in marriage counseling. Wrong house. Martin Madrazo's problem. A $2.5 million debt. Now Franklin isn't just hustling. He's on the board. The block keeps calling. It always does. Chop. Lamar's plan is simple and stupid. Snatch a balla OG named D and make him talk. Chop earns his food. They bag D. And then Lamar does the loudest thing you can do during a kidnapping. Calls him from his own phone. They dump the spot and dump D. Lesson logged. Franklin can't build a future on Lamar's shortcuts forever. Then Stretch walks out of prison like he never left the throne. He talks respect, but he means control. He drags Franklin and Lamar to ammunition, then to a recycling plant in La Puerta to make a deal. It's a setup. Balla's in every aisle, and D is right there. Bait. The long stretch. Gun smoke, bad angles, and a split-second reveal. Stretch executes D, and the whole place erupts. Franklin fights them out the back, eats sirens, and gets his people home. After that, the street looks different. This isn't old heads versus young bucks. The streets are rigged, the board is fixed, and Franklin's done playing someone else's game. That's when Michael introduces him to Lester, where the hustle shifts from street corners to jewelry stores. Michael brings Franklin to Lester, the man with the plans. They scout Little Portola encasing the jewel. Two setups follow. Smart approach. Bugstar's equipment and BZ gas grenades. Smart plan. Franklin climbs to the roof, finds the vent, and drops the BZ gas from above. Glass flashes, bodies hit tile. Masks on. Cases smashed. A clean grab under a ticking clock. Bikes shoot out the alley. Franklin leads the crew through the Los Santos River. Tight turns, cold water, sirens like wasps. Michael covers the tail as they thread the tunnels and pop out clean. Lock-up door rolls down. Money talks, and this time, it tells the truth. The cut does more than chip at Madrazo's bill. It proves Franklin can run with bigger wolves and not get eaten. Out in Blaine County, a name wakes up to the noise. After Three's company, Trevor Phillips barrels into Franklin's life like weather. Lamar's talk steers them to Grove Street for a deal stretch arranged. The dealer shows a wrapped white brick and controls the sample. Trevor asks for a pull from the other side. Gets told no. He snaps the block in half. Drywall. Fake coke. Real guns. Hood safari. Alleys explode. Sirens pile on, and the trio steals sea sharks to cut through the canals. Cameras catch MC Clip mid-shoot while they blast past. They split, lose the heat, and breathe. Franklin says it plain. Stretch set us up. Lamar doesn't want to hear it. Franklin says it anyway. Lester doesn't just hand out jobs. He teaches leverage. The first big lesson is the hotel assassination. A clean shot, a market ripple, and a phone call that changes Franklin's mail. Tax purposes. Lester jokes, but the result is real. 3671 Whispymound Drive, Vinewood Hills. Boxes stacked in the foyer. The Forum House repurposed by Denise as a women's center. This isn't luck. It's proof. Franklin's life can be somewhere else, and the city looks smaller from up here. The sniper rifle buys him a new view from the hills, and for once Franklin feels untouchable. But when the crew sets their sights even higher with Merryweather, the price of ambition shows up fast. They reach too high. The Merryweather heist. Set up stack first. Scouting the port. Mini-sub. Cargo bob. Freighter approach. Franklin snipes from Miriam Turner overpass, covers Michael on the ship, and shoots down a Merryweather chopper as Michael plants the charges. Offshore approach. Trevor airlifts the sub with the cargo bob. Michael works the depths, and Franklin guns down pursuers from the helicopter. They actually pull it. Lester takes one look and calls it what it is. Heat, not money. An experimental device you don't fence, you return. They put it back before it burns down their lives. Zero payout, maximum lesson. Some scores by heat, not freedom. Devon Weston shows up in a perfect suit with imperfect ethics. A list of high-end cars, a promise of a big payout. They start pulling the list. I Fought the Law. Alta Meet with Molly Schultz. Franklin races two trust fund kids in a Cheetah and Entity XF while Michael and Trevor pose as highway cops and seize the rides. Drop at Hayes Autos. No money yet. After all 5. Eye in the Sky. Trevor pilots a police helicopter with a scanner while Franklin tracks Chad Mulligan and steals the Z-type, then delivers it at LSIA. Deep Inside. Franklin infiltrates Richard's Majestic, uses the JB-700 spikes to cripple pursuit, ejects the stunt actress mid-getaway. At the lockup, the mystery watcher is Lamar. Devin likes the energy and pulls him into the crew. Final run. Pac-Man. Trevor hauls the collection on a packer up the coast while Franklin and Lamar ride escort. Cops bite. Franklin drops the JB-700 and uses its caltrops to clear the chase. At Procopio truck stop, Molly says Devin has invested their money. His Alpha Fund will release it later. Franklin translates. That's being robbed with paperwork. Lesson logged. Name remembered. Madrazo orders a mid-air message. Caida Libre. Michael drops a jet with a specialized rifle shot. Trevor chases the wreckage. Smoke like a road in the sky. Then everything tilts. Trevor kidnaps Patricia Madrazo after seeing what home looks like for her. They lie low in Sandy Shores. Patricia cooks, gardens. Trevor pretends it isn't love. Michael pretends it isn't a death wish. Back in the city, Franklin keeps moving pieces forward. Eyes open, phone on, future in mind. Old business with the O'Neills won't die quiet. A helicopter tears over Raton Canyon. Trevor on the stick, Michael on a thermal scope. White ghosts in dark trees turn into targets. On the ground, Franklin runs point with Chop. Brush, river rock, Panic trails. One by one, the brothers fall. The last one runs. Chop finds him. Franklin finishes it. Not revenge, cleanup that lets tomorrow happen. Sleepy fishing town, Blaine County Savings Bank. 3 thieves who want a fast job and get a war instead. Sirens multiply into noose and then military hardware. Rounds melt against body armor. Michael and Trevor hold the line. Franklin rumbles in with a dozer, punches through the kill box, and hauls the crew forward. Street to street, storefront to storefront, a moving wall of gunfire. They dive through a Cluck and Bell processing plant and somehow keep breathing. Paleto pays, but the price is everything. It wakes up. Snow and Truth in Bury the Hatchet. Trevor learns Michael faked his death years ago in Ludendorff, North Yankton. A friendship cracks on the ice and doesn't heal. The triads take note. Back in Los Santos, they grab Michael for leverage. Franklin calls Trevor for help. Trevor refuses. So Franklin goes alone in fresh meat. Lester pings the phone. Trackify leads Franklin to Raven Slaughterhouse in Cypress Flats. Steel doors, cold floors, bad odds. He cuts through the line, finds Michael, and fights them out. Franklin proves loyalty isn't words, it's bullets. Saving Michael cements him as more than muscle, and that loyalty gets tested immediately when the FIB forces them into the riskiest play yet, raiding the Bureau itself. Steve Haynes pushes. Dave Norton pleads. Lester plans. 2 ways in. Same goal, wipe the evidence and live to spend tomorrow. Fire crew approach. Michael and Franklin gear up as firefighters, ride the alarm in, pull the drive, and ditch a stolen fire truck on the way out. Roof entry approach. Michael, Franklin, and hired muscle rappel into the FIB, fight floor to floor, then base jump to the street and vanish in a getaway car. Either way, it's the Bureau raid. Either way, they leave with a future. For now. Tanisha shows up at the Hill House with bad news that sounds predictable. Stretch has Lamar boxed in at the Paleto Forest sawmill. Whatever Franklin thinks about Lamar's choices, he's not burying his brother for them. He calls Michael. He calls Trevor. Lamar down. They cut through the mill and pull Lamar out. On the drive back, the argument is love wearing anger's clothes. Family doesn't disappear. It drags you back in. Lamar's rescue proves Franklin won't turn his back. But the final test isn't loyalty to Lamar. It's loyalty to the crew. And it all comes down to the Union Depository. Union Depository, the top of the mountain. 2 approaches, subtle or obvious. Same dream, tons of gold rolling out under the city's nose. They make it happen. History in bars and pallets. Silence follows, the kind you can't spend. Lure Michael to talk like fathers and sons. It ends at the Palmer Taylor Power Station. High steel, hard wind. A fight, a slip, a choice. Help him up or let him go. Either way, Michael falls, and the city gets colder for Franklin. The only door that sounds like Franklin. With Lester, they bait a war at the Grand Bank Steel Foundry in Marietta Heights and come out breathing. Then the cleanup. Trevor drops Steve Haynes at Del Perro Pier. Michael ends Stretch at the B.J. Smith Recreation Center in Chamberlain Hills. Franklin takes down Wei Cheng while leaving the Pacific Bluffs Country Club. From Forum Drive to F. Clinton and partner, Franklin turns chaos into legacy. Franklin doesn't just go straight, he goes smart. He invests the win and learns the rich aren't just loud, they're messy. By 2021, he opens F. Clinton and partner with Imani, sharp tech, clean plans, closed mouths. Security contracts by credibility, payphone hits pay for precision. In the garage, Imani Tech turns cars into tools. Remote control unit, missile lock-on jammer. The little edges rich people pay for. Home life? Tanisha's marriage to Dr. Jaden ended. She and Franklin are back together, married, and living at 3671 Whispymound Drive. The Clintons on the plaque. Chop is older, grayer, still family. History visits, but it doesn't run the place anymore. A call from DJ Pooh opens the door. Dr. Dre's phone is gone. The music's out there. The city's listening. Imani traces the signal. Franklin moves the pieces. 3 leak trails, 3 finales. Nightlife leak. a triad circuit that ends inside the Diamond Casino at a high roller party. Behind velvet ropes, managers, back rooms, and the kind of secrets that smell like bleach. High society leak, a Richmond mansion and a crypto billionaire, Ben Brooks, planning an NFT auction. Sow chaos, force the escape, chase the chopper to Lago Zancudo, or follow him to his yacht, Hodel, offshore. Either way, pick up the music he thought would make him immortal. South Central leak, Vernon and P link up families and ballas to storm Rancho. Avago's boss bolts in a yellow Buccaneer Custom, blasting Dre's demo. Chase him down and drive the lowrider back to the agency. Then, studio time. Guard Record A while the last rats try the doors. And the finale, don't F with Dre. Mirror Park Rail Yard to LSIA Hangar, then a drive with Dre to the Pacific Bluffs Country Club. Johnny Guns learns what consequences feel like. Dre gets his phone back. And Franklin proves the agency fixes rich people's problems the old way. Fast, quiet, final. Lamar rebrands chaos as a business plan. LD Organics. Warehouses, pitch meetings, a weed van that turns a parking lot into a smoke signal. Franklin laughs, helps, and sets boundaries. He can still run with Lamar. He just won't run off a cliff. Call it growth, call it balance. Call it a man finally choosing what his time is worth. From Forum Drive to F. Clinton and Partner, Franklin Prue's choices build escape routes. So, if it were you, which ending would you live with? A, B, or C?